Statements made during this broadcast regarding products or the claims made about specific products have not been evaluated by the U.S. Food and Drug Administration. Products and treatments discussed are not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent disease. Make your physician aware of all nutritional supplements used and immediately notify your physician if you have any health concern or undiagnosed sign or symptom. Let's Talk Nutrition is a health talk show that features scientists, authors, nutrition specialists, personal trainers, holistic healers, and experts in traditional, natural, and integrative medicine. Listen for a chance to win daily prizes and follow Let's Talk Nutrition on Facebook and Instagram at Let's Talk Nutrition or on Twitter at LTN Radio. It's time for some inspiration. Tune in to get fit and healthy. It's time to talk about nutrition. Nutrition for your body, your mind, your spirit. It's time to talk about proper exercise, stress relief, eating well, and supplementation to help. Get ready to take charge of your health because your health is your wealth and the wealth of those who care about and love you. It's time for Let's Talk Nutrition with Dr. Michael Garko. Welcome to the show.
Welcome to Let's Talk Nutrition. Great to be with you. Thanks for tuning in today. Got that close, huh, buddy?
Yeah, you did. I almost went safe.
Safe at home. All right. Great to be with you. Thanks for stopping by today. Dr. Ingram will be by. I always like having him on because I never know how the meal's going to turn out.
It's always good, though. That's for sure.
Oh, yeah, it's always good because there are no filters there, buddy. It's straight authenticity. He's going to tell you. It's boom. You know, it's like, okay.
Does not pull his punches.
Nope, he does not. I like it. It's okay. It makes for good talk radio. And I've known him a long time. He was one of the first guests 11 years ago on Let's Talk Nutrition. And I was just starting out in this business of being a producer and a radio host. He was very kind. I will always be grateful to him. He was very generous and kind. So, and over the years, you know, he just has this reputation of being someone who he has so much experience, cultural experience, cross-cultural experience in the world of health and medicine, nutrition, and he knows a lot about herbs and spices, and he's traveled around the world, the Middle East and wherever, and he just brings a lot to the table, you know. You may not always agree with him, and, you know, he's one of those people, either you line up with him or you don't. Just the way he is. There's no ambiguity. I sort of respect that. I want to, you know, if you want to know where somebody stands or you don't know if they're jazzing you or what, with Dr. Ingram, you always know where you stand and what his point of view is. And he has a point of view. And I think that's important. You have to have the courage to have a point of view. If you're going to run along the median all the time and be reluctant to jump into traffic, well, you know, the B word, boring. We don't want that around here. So, going to talk a little bit about your parents and whether they were long-lived as a predictor for you. Before I go there, because it deals with the whole idea of longevity, I'm sure that there are more than a few. If you can find some images of Fred Astaire, Josh.
Yes, sir.
You know who Fred Astaire was? I know you're young. Do you know who Fred Astaire was?
You
can say
give me
no.
a minute. I'll think about it, but no, not a fan.
Fred Astaire. Check out Wikipedia. Go to Wikipedia. Type in Fred Astaire, Astaire.
Yep.
I know that there are more than you're wondering, why in the devil would he bring up Fred Astaire on a health talk show? And I've been doing this now for quite a while with him. And what am I talking about? If you watch Turner Classic Movies, you know that he will appear more often than not on those movies, the old black and whites and then the color. And he was born in 1899. So he was born technically in the 19th century. And I know that a lot of you know exactly who I'm talking about. He was one of the most talented, wonderful dancers, actors, singers, entertainers, if you want to just call them that, of all time. One of my most favorite. I love his movies. I've always been captured by his artistry, his athleticism. Make no mistake about it, he was an athlete in every sense of the word, but he was also an artist first and foremost. And the way he danced, so when you look at his history and the movies that he made and when he started, and you track his career, and I've been doing that for quite a while. This past Sunday, while I was working to break up the monotony, I turned on Turner Classic, and I saw a couple of his movies being played. They were featuring him, I guess, on Sunday. I think it was Sunday. And the films that I saw were in the 50s, mid-50s. And I'm trying to, I can't remember. One was, I think they were both in color. But I figured out his age because I knew he was born in 1899. And he was born in Omaha, Nebraska, of all places, right? Coming out of Omaha. And he has an interesting background. You should check him out. Check out his history. There's a photograph of him with his sister. His sister's name was Adele. In 1906, I don't know if you see that on Wikipedia, Josh. It says life and career, and there's a photograph of him and his sister together on stage in 1906. So that would have made him 7 years old. Okay? 7. So this is a human being that his entire life was spent in the world of entertainment. And I remember as a boy, there you go, a handsome boy, and his sister was beautiful, watching him dance and just being so enthralled with, how can somebody do that? On Sunday when I was watching these films, he was now these films were in the 50s, so he was somewhere between 50 to 55 years of age. 53, 54, the one film. I'm looking to see the different films. I'll give you the exact names. I mean, he danced with everybody. His most productive years, they said, were between 1948 and 1957. Well, you know what? The 2 films that I saw this past weekend, he was in the twilight of his ability to dance. There was not much dancing, not the way he did and used to dance when he was in the early 40s, late 40s, and maybe 1950. It seems that he was deteriorating. It's relative. My point is this. Here's somebody who was so athletic, so energetic, so physically active, and even in his 50s, he was performing clearly not up to a level. It was by design. I don't think he could do it. Not the way he did, like in 1950. There was a film in 1955, Daddy Longlegs, where he was pretty athletic. But the 2 films I saw this past weekend where he was 54 years of age, and there was not much dancing, not much at all. And he was having a it looked like, he had lost his skill. But it's relative. And I was thinking, was he aging successfully? I'm trying to see what year he died.
1987, June 22nd.
Okay, so he was 88 years old. He did quite well. And that's somebody who was totally dedicated to being physically active. That's an understatement to say that he was physically active. An understatement, for sure. But I was still wondering, how much was left in him at around age 55 to perform at the level. And it was not the same, clearly. And no one would expect that to be. But relatively speaking to the rest of the world, he was unbelievable. And his whole life was dedicated to be fit. My point is this. Even with Fred Astaire, as physically active as he was, it was still a challenge.
Are you waking up each day to the life you have to live or to the life you want to live? Better health shouldn't be left to chance. Smart choices to living longer and stronger include making Kyolic aged garlic extract a part of your daily routine. For years, medical researchers have recommended adding Kyolic to the diet as a powerful tool to enhancing overall heart and immune health. Recent clinical studies at UCLA Medical Center using Kyolic suggest that garlic may slow plaque formation in the arteries and support healthy cholesterol and homocysteine levels. Previous research also shows Kyolic may enhance your immune system defenses. Kyolic is organic, odorless, and the only antioxidant garlic supplement available worldwide. Maintaining a healthier you could extend your life. Your wellness begins with Kyolic aged garlic extract, available everywhere fine nutritional supplements are sold. Visit kyolic.com, that's KYOLIC.com, or call 1-800-421-2998 for a free sample today.
Still looking for your fountain of youth? It's Zinnia. Look no further than the beauty aisle of your favorite health and nutrition store. Zinnia is the newest product from Form Essentials, the brand that brought you solace. So you know it's filled with the highest quality ingredients. Many cosmetic products only treat topically, while Zinnia addresses aging and hair loss from within. Formulated to support the growth of radiant hair, skin, and nails, Zinnia is sure to help you turn back the hands of time and assist you in aging gracefully. Zinnia provides a spectrum of key vitamins and other evidence-based natural ingredients such as alpha-lipoic acid, biotin, and collagen and elastin peptides, all combined in one capsule for your convenience. By promoting beauty from the inside out, you're strengthening your cells and creating a lasting enhancement to your natural beauty. Zinnia fits into your daily routine and can be taken to boost your current cosmetic products. Available now at leading health and nutrition stores. Ask for Zinnia by name. Start taking Zinnia hair, skin, and nails today and get ready to look amazing.
At Country Life Vitamins, we've been helping people live happy, healthy lives since 1971, and we believe integrity should always be our #1 ingredient. We are committed to this belief because you deserve high-quality nutrition, specifically crafted with the highest standards to support your health. Country Life's manufacturing facility is an NSF GMP-registered facility, as well as USDA certified organic, so you can feel good about the products you're taking. Country Life Vitamins is also the first supplement company in the United States to have a complete line of products certified gluten-free. That's over 500 products. Country Life Vitamins' pledge of integrity is based on 5 standards: authenticity, cleanliness, freshness, consistency, and accuracy. Ask for Country Life's top-selling products, such as Coenzyme B Advanced for increased energy or Flex Able for joint health. Country Life Vitamins' commitment to ensure all of our products are pure, wholesome, gluten-free supplements full of natural goodness provides peace of mind with the knowledge you are using a brand you can trust.
Did you know that when it comes to supporting whole body health, there's an herbal supplement that may be as important as your daily multivitamin? Discover Zyflamend Whole Body from New Chapter. Formulated to support a whole body, healthy inflammation response. An ongoing natural process and part of the body doing its job. We often think of the inflammation response as something we can feel, such as where there are sensitive nerve endings. But did you know that we can also have an inflammation response we can't feel? And whether we are aware of it or not, our inflammation response can affect the whole body. Zyflamend is a patented blend of 10 remarkable herbs, including pure and potent turmeric, that help balance and support your body's natural, healthy inflammation response for overall health and wellness. And it's clinically tested. Discover the premier herbal supplement for whole body health from New Chapter, Zyflamend Whole Body. These statements have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease. Available at your local fine health food store.
Let's Talk Nutrition is brought to you by BSN, Finish First, Nordic Naturals, pure and great tasting omega oils, Jarrow Formulas, superior nutrition and formulation, Natural Factors, where great health begins, Kyolic, aging makes the finest garlic truly odorless, A. Vogel, Europe's leading brand of herbal medicine. Let's Talk Nutrition on the web at letstalknutrition.com. We're back from the break, so let's rejoin Dr. Michael Garko.
Yeah, Fred Astaire. He died. He was 88. You said, Josh, what year did he die?
June 22nd, 1987.
So he was born in 1899. He was 88 years old. And I was commenting on, I noticed the movie that I saw over the weekend was Bandwagon with Sid Charisse. And she was in her prime. He was in the twilight. And she clearly was superior in her. She still had so much skill. And I was so struck by his inability to perform at the level where he, and we all go through that. We all start to decline. And after Bandwagon, I think there was one more. Then after that, most of his roles were talking, just acting and singing, not much dancing. And I was, again, his whole life, he was physically active and was in such phenomenal shape. And he lived a long life. He lived to 88. And I dare say probably contributed to his longevity, his all that physical activity. Which leads me to the story that was trending today about people living longer. And this particular study focused on, and I need to send my producer something here. This study focused on long-lived parents, and they were making the point in the study that what their data showed, and I'll explain, is that if you have long-lived parents, you're going to do quite well. And especially with cardiovascular health, at least that's what the study suggests. And the longer our parents live, the longer we are likely to live ourselves, they commented in the study. And the more likely we are to stay healthy in our 60s and 70s. Now, they're looking at one variable. They're looking at the longevity of the parents and correlating that with the longevity of the offspring. So they also concluded that having longer-lived parents means we have with much lower rates of range of heart conditions and some cancers. Studies like this are intriguing and interesting, but I worry when people come across them or hear about them or being reported on by people such as myself, because it might lead someone to conclude, well, everything's genetically driven. All I need to do is sit back and let the genes do the driving. That would be a mistake. That would be a mistake. We have many examples of people who had phenomenal genes. I can name any number of athletes. One is Mickey Mantle. And he destroyed his body, destroyed it with alcohol, and, he suffered mightily at the end. And he was genetically gifted. No question about that. So genes that's fine. You inherit wonderful genes, and you could have the propensity to live longer. Doesn't mean you will. So don't let the study mislead you. But on the study unto itself, I thought it would be important for you to know about this. It was funded by the Medical Research Council and involved 190,000 people. And what they call United Kingdom, they have a data set called a study and a data set with it called the United Kingdom Biobank. It's the largest data bank of its kind. And it found that our chances of survival, check this out, increased by 17% for each decade that at least one parent lives beyond the age of 70. So if you have a parent that lives to 80 or 90, 90, that would be 24 years of your chances of 24 years or 24%, 24% greater chance of living longer. 10 years, 17% for each decade of the parent. That's astonishing. And the study focused on cardiovascular health. And I've been saying for a long time that every system in the body is important. No question about that. One could make an argument, say, well, this is the most important system, whatever. But it seems to me, and I've always said this, without good you can have cardiovascular disease and live a long time. That doesn't mean that you're going to have great quality of life. But we are vulnerable. Arteries are vulnerable to disease. And it's very difficult to live a long life with quality of life with cardiovascular disease of one form or another. Cardiovascular disease is a constellation of diseases. Of course, heart disease is preeminent and the leading cause of death in this country since at least 1921. Some debate that, but that's generally around the time. Since the year 1900, cardiovascular diseases as a constellation of disease have been the primary cause of death in our country. And this study highlights the importance of cardiovascular health, and that if your parents are long-lived, you have a greater chance for better cardiovascular health in the long run. Assuming, now I don't know if they controlled for that or not, that your diet and lifestyle are of a healthy kind. You just can't sit back and let the genes do what they're going to do. You have to participate in this. It's not only the sequencing of the genes, it's the expression of the genes. And your diet and lifestyle influences their expression. So there's some good news in here, but don't be, I would not get too comfortable with saying, my genes will take care of it. Dr. Ingram will be along, get him on the air, we'll get his reaction to this study.
When your alarm goes off, do you jump out of bed with excitement? Or does it take multiple alarms, a few snooze buttons, or a morning caffeine fix to get you going? These habits and daily stress cause a vicious cycle in which sleep becomes increasingly elusive. In fact, 54% of Americans report struggles to fall or stay asleep. For a better night's rest, look no further than Solace, an all-natural dietary supplement that supports healthy sleep and relaxation, so you get the rest you need to wake up clear-eyed, alert, and ready for the day. Solace has given thousands a better night's rest and the power to take back their mornings while enjoying the day ahead of them. Solace is formulated with non-addictive, scientifically proven, all-natural ingredients that support sleep and relaxation, such as melatonin, tryptophan, and 5-HTP. For more information or to order Solace, visit takesolace.com. Solace, for healthy sleep naturally.
Looking for the perfect complement to your beauty regimen? Try Form Essentials Zinnia. The finest of its kind, Zinnia offers twice as much biotin as other formulas, which has proven to unlock the vibrancy in even the dullest of hair, skin, and nails. Zinnia breaks through and rejuvenates cells internally, helping you achieve the allure of effortless beauty. Reviving your hair, skin, and nails has never been easier. This essential blend of biotin, alpha-lipoic, and hyaluronic acid, collagen, and vitamin C creates lasting enhancements to your natural good looks. Don't go on wondering, you're worth the results. This combination of ingredients can only be found in Zinnia. Pamper yourself with a proven bit of affordable luxury and start looking your best. Ask for Zinnia by name at your nearest vitamin retailer to begin your journey to restored nails, head-turning hair, and radiant skin today. For more information, visit formessentials.com.
Let's Talk Nutrition is brought to you by Alga Life, algae for life. CV Sciences, from seed to shelf. New Chapter, the benefit of nature's wisdom. Yerba Prima, pioneers in internal cleansing. Form Essentials, makers of the sleep aid Solace. Now introducing Zinnia for healthy hair, skin, and nails. Let's Talk Nutrition on the web at letstalknutrition.com. We're back from the break, so let's rejoin Dr. Michael Garko.
Welcome back. Welcome to Let's Talk Nutrition, wherever and however you may be listening or watching the show. And, of course, whatever you may be doing. And that's your business. God knows. 877-897-8255. You never know. Who knows, right?
Playing dominoes or something.
That's right. Checkers.
Checkers.
Dr. Cass Ingram is my guest today. Dr. Ingram's been on my show now a number of times. As I mentioned in the opening today, he was one of the first guests on Let's Talk Nutrition 11 years ago, and he was always kind and generous to me when I got into this business of producing and hosting a talk show, health talk show, which is now syndicated across the U.S., including Hawaii, thanks to you, the listener and the viewer. And Dr. Ingram has been involved in the practice of health and wellness and medicine for many decades. And as I said, he has great cultural experience and interesting point of view, and not reluctant to share that. And I love his authenticity. Dr. Ingram, welcome back to the show.
Well, it's great to be back. How you doing?
I'm doing fine. I want to ask you, this is a little off topic, and I don't know if you're into this sort of thing or not, but I was reporting on Fred Astaire. I was watching a couple of his movies over the weekend while I was working, and intermittently would turn on the TV and then catch the film in different parts, different films. And he was in his 50s at the time. He certainly was not dancing at the level when he was in the 1940s, mid-40s, all the way through the 40s and 30s. I mean, he was athletically and artistically, he was unbelievable as a perfectionist. And I noticed the deterioration in his ability to perform at that level. And when he was about 54, this film that I once saw over the weekend, with the Bandwagon, he was about 54 at the time. And he was with Sid Charisse, and she was at her prime, and she certainly outdanced him in the film. But he was still in tremendous shape. He lived to be 88. And even with all of that physical activity in his life, I mean, he lived a long life. And I think it played a big role in him living a long life. Did you ever watch him perform?
Yeah, he was really an enigma to really, to have that kind of dexterity and stuff. You don't see that anymore. That tap dancing era, those people were, but remember that that was pre-modernization corruption. You've got a lot of elements that have come in to break down civilization. Even though people are living a long time, mass vaccination, the polio shot, the fluoridation of water, the genetically engineered food now coming into play. You just don't see that kind of really refined talent much anymore. But I don't think that he took enough chaga or hempenol. If he would have had that at 50, he might still be going.
Dr. Ingram, he wouldn't have known chaga from maga from. I think he smoked. He did smoke, at least, and he did in the films. And he was legitimate. I mean, you could tell he smoked. He inhaled, and he. But nevertheless, I was marveling at his ability to age as successfully as he did with all that physical activity. Worked for him and worked against him, and I was just marveling at that over the weekend and saying, "My God, And then I see people in their 50s who are really struggling with their health and their quality of life already. And here he was performing at a pretty high level.
I know.
And so it's remarkable.
A lot of them had strong stock. And also, if you go to the pre-Victorian times, the people who did live past the risk factors of premature death from infection during birth and different potentials, if you look at them physically, before the vaccination era, before the chlorination, before the chemicalization, before the pesticidation, before the GMOization, you just didn't see a lot of obesity. You didn't see deformation in people's physique. So you had the Fred Astaire's and you had the other entertainers that were slender and fit despite their bad habits. But
yeah. Gene Kelly was another one who was even more athletic. He was more of an athletic dancer than Fred Astaire. Fred Astaire was more of an artistic, but still athletic. And I always
marveled at those guys.
Oh my God! And I guess my point is that even with, and he lived to be 88, Fred Astaire did, and with all of that physical activity, it took a lot of effort for them to do that, and how they did it, I have no clue, to perform at that level. And we see this in athletes today, and I always pay attention to what they do and how they eat and whatnot, the technology, because I learn a lot from them and the science of sports nutrition. Nevertheless, this business, I was putting on this study about parents who are long-lived. Turns out that they apparently bestow upon their offspring the genetic predisposition to live longer, with better cardiovascular health. But I laid the cautionary note about don't just rely on genetics. And I would like to give your take on how much of the variance to quality of life and longevity do you attribute to genetics, and how much of the variance of that do you attribute to diet and lifestyle?
I mean, why leave it to chance? The genetics are a powerful tool, and a lot of centenarians don't bicycle, they don't jog, they don't watch their diet particularly. They probably just don't eat a lot. But that it's better that we have a sophistication now that you can micromanage your potential for excellent health and longevity. It's not like the Almighty God said you're going to die at 75. He's constructed the human body with the capacity, and there have been cases to live into 150 to 200. It's got that capacity, but it's got a strong capacity to reach the centenarian level. Mm-hmm. So the people in Accioli, for example, Italy, they're not playing it by chance. They love rosemary.
I reported on that town about 6 months ago. Go ahead.
Yeah, they just love it, and it's in everything. And it just so happens that there are 100, as you know, there are 20% almost centenarians.
Centenarians.
So 2,000 people and 300 centenarians. It's unheard of, by the way.
See if you can find that, Josh.
So there are ways to get around it. Now, the same with the Siberian Inuit. They didn't analyze the data and look at the studies and wonder, okay, my grandmother lived to be 101. Did you know that? No. They were consuming chaga on a regular basis, and so the entire village, on average, lived between 80 and 105. Now, that's in Siberia. So we know now that there are some supplemental agents that you can take along with a healthy diet and lifestyle that will impact your longevity. That's much, much more reasonable than relying on the gene pool.
Okay, so when we come back, I want to you raise a very important point here. The culture, generally the culture, specifically the food culture and the way of life in the culture. I'm reading between the lines of what you said. You seem to believe, and if you do, I agree with you 100%, is maybe more of a driving force than the genetics, the genes themselves. We'll see what Dr. Ingram exactly thinks.
At Nordic Naturals, we know that a commitment to deliver the world's safest, most effective omega oils requires an exceptional process. That's why we manage every step of production, from boat to bottle. That includes sustainably sourcing wild-caught fish from well-managed fisheries. It means using state-of-the-art equipment and technology at our manufacturing plant in Arctic Norway. Nordic Naturals bottles and encapsulates our omega-3s at our own facility and carefully ships products from our eco-friendly headquarters in California. The result? Nordic Naturals products have received more than 40 awards for taste, innovation, and product excellence. You can trust the quality of Nordic Naturals products and know you're getting all the health benefits omega-3 fish oils offer. Nordic Naturals' high-quality, great-tasting omega-3s make staying healthy easier for you and your family. When choosing an omega-3 fish oil product, choose the #1 fish oil in the U.S. Choose Nordic Naturals. Available at natural product retailers or online at NordicNaturals.com.
If you've ever had digestive issues slow you down, it's time to live digestively with the #1 high-potency probiotic, Ultimate Flora. Because with 50 billion live cultures inside you, life feels a little lighter, a little livelier, a little more you. No matter where life takes you, live digestively with Ultimate Flora probiotics from Renew Life. These statements have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease. #1 probiotic brand with 15 billion or more cultures based on annual sales. How can a sweet little fruit gummy help you live digestively? Ultimate Flora Probiotic Gummies put the ultimate natural digestive support to work inside you to help you feel a little lighter, a little more you. And if raspberry lemonade's a little more you, feel bubbly in a good way with Ultimate Flora Probiotic Fizzy Drink Mix. Ultimate Flora Probiotic Gummies and Fizzy Drink Mix. 2 great ways to live digestively, deliciously. These statements have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.
Everyone's raving about the newest botanical superstar hitting the store shelves nationwide. Hemp-derived cannabidiol, or CBD, has been receiving a lot of attention for its tremendous promise on human health. Plus, CBD Oil by CV Sciences is the trusted brand setting the standards in this newly emerging category of plant-based extracts, offering a variety of hemp-derived CBD oil products that you can count on. In order to make the highest quality CBD oil products available, it is important to manage every step of the supply chain process, from seed to shelf. That's why, from harvesting our EU-certified hemp seeds, to laboratory testing for quality and safety, to producing our exceptional line of products, we are committed to going the extra mile. It is our commitment to you. Join the CBD evolution. Ask your local natural health retailer about Plus CBD oil products by CV Sciences today. Follow us on Facebook and learn more at pluscbdoil.com.
Exclusively from Natural Factors.
I'm Dr. Michael Murray. I'm very excited to have the opportunity to talk with you about PGX, a truly revolutionary natural product that works perfectly to help get at the core issues that make weight loss so difficult. PGX is a clinically proven way to help people to achieve their ideal body weight that is safe and natural. PGX leads to a dramatic reduction in the glycemic index of any food or meal. It also ultimately causes the release of compounds that achieve 2 important goals in weight loss. 1, telling your brain that you're satisfied so you eat less, and 2, improving the action of the hormone insulin. If you've ever tried to lose weight and failed, it's not your fault. You just need the tremendous support that PGX can provide. For more information on making your weight loss dream a near effortless reality, please go to pgx.com.
When you're passionate about your health, that passion leads to the knowledge that exercise and a healthy diet are not always enough. Sometimes you need the extra nutritional boost that only supplements can provide. If you are looking for the leading national brands of vitamins, supplements, health and beauty, weight loss, or sports nutrition products, look no further than Vitamin Discount Center. Voted best independent chain by Vitamin Retailer Magazine, Vitamin Discount Center has been a trusted and valuable nutrition resource to the Tampa Bay area for over 15 years. With daily savings up to 50%, Vitamin Discount Center offers the best prices on the highest quality nutritional supplements. Not only will you find unbeatable value, your visit includes access to a staff educated on the application of products to help equip you with the products and information you need to proactively improve your health. To locate the store nearest you, visit vitamindiscountcenter.com, as well as access to articles on popular health topics, promotions, events, and thousands of products to shop from right at home. Your search for an affordable solution to better health is finally over. Vitamin Discount Center. For life, for less.
Let's Talk Nutrition is brought to you by Now Foods. Our products work. American Biotech Labs, your daily immune system support. Renew Life, the digestive care company. Country Life, a leader and authority in natural health and nutrition. Enzymedica, the enzyme experts. North American Herb and Spice, the only oregano oil you can take on a daily basis. Let's Talk Nutrition on the web at letstalknutrition.com. We're back from the break, so let's rejoin Dr. Michael Garko.
I have to laugh because I can always tell, the quality of guests by the references that they make. Now, several months ago, I reported on a town in Italy this remote town. It's a remote village. And it's Aciroli, Italy, right? I believe I'm pronouncing it correctly. I could be wrong. The average life expectancy in our country is 78 years, okay? We think that's pretty good. Well, compared to this town, not so much. Living to 100 is not uncommon. And these researchers went into this town to study it and to try to understand what was contributing to the longevity of these people in this remote village. It's not as if science abounds there and all kinds of technology and medical care of highest order prevails. Not so much. And it favors we're showing a beautiful, beautiful shot of that if you're watching the show. They eat a Mediterranean diet, a Mediterranean way of life. My guest, Dr. Ingram, made reference to it in passing. That probably glossed right over most of the people listening and watching the show, not me. That tells me he's dialed in. How did you know about that town, Dr. Ingram?
Well, it's one of those things when I was doing a prototype book on live long, eat spices, and it stumbled upon it, really. But what was fascinating to me was there's a lot of mountain villages. You know what I'm saying? Okay, you don't have 15, 20% centenarians in those mountain villages. You have a few. There's a lot of villages where they drink spring water. You know, it's a mountain village. There's a lot of villages close to the seashore. It's close to the seashore. There's a lot of villages where they primarily eat fish for protein. They eat fish for protein. So it's got to be the rosemary.
You think
the rosemary fiends?
You think it's one compound?
It's the rosemary more than anything.
Why do you say that? I mean, that you're going out on a limb. I mean, you're identifying one variable. Let me just...
Well, I'll tell you why. Rosemary, for example, is a fat-soluble antioxidant about 3 times more powerful than BHT. So it preserves there's no Alzheimer's or to speak of or MS or anything there. It preserves the brain matter and the cellular coating from oxidative damage. It's a preservative, and so we see the same with oregano. Oregano acts on the water phase. Rosemary acts on the fat-soluble phase. We see it with sage. The Greeks that drink sage tea have a longer lifespan.
What does that taste like?
Well, the sage tea is not too bad. It's just like a little herbal bitter. But the point is that you were saying earlier, that what could you do supplementally or through your diet that would extend the longevity capacity of the brain and central nervous system.
Mm-hmm.
And rosemary's the kingpin. You know, rosemary for remembrance. It's the number one preventive antioxidant to prevent the brain from degenerating.
You know, listen, you got to be, I don't know who the other person is, but you and whoever that other person is walking around the planet talking about rosemary in this way. Not very many, Dr. Ingram. Not very many. It's not in the popular trend and discourse of the natural products industry. It's not.
I know, but you know what? Look at North American Urban Spice. For the last 30 years, they have had the rosemanol and the juice of rosemary, which I have been dispensing for people with neurological conditions successfully.
You did.
Yeah. And then they also have a sage extract, which is called saginol, and also sage juice. So people who take it, I mean, those are spices, my friend, and so they're totally safe. That particular type of sage and rosemary we could take with impunity. It's the same stuff that the Greek and Turkish mountain villagers take the actual sprigs from the plant. You know, when you go into the mountains of Turkey, as I've done when I was doing the oregano research, you want chai or ada chai or kekika chai. Kekika is oregano, ada chai is sage, and the chai is regular tea. If we just adopted a few... Now, let me just give you a plan for our listeners. For good health and longevity potential, what I say longevity potential means you don't develop degenerative disease. See, nobody likes the idea of a long life and be crippled. But to live to the maximum without degeneration, we would all relish. So here's my plan. We pound the wild oregano, which I'd like to talk to you about for fungal disorders, which is the big bugaboo for the breakdown.
I have a number of questions to you about fungal disorders, but we'll get there.
Okay, so if we had a good protocol, we'd want the wild oregano, like the oil of oregano, the edible kind, and perhaps the juice. Then we should take the rosemary edible oil, and rosemary essence or juice. If we wanted the maximum program.
Yeah.
We need to hit the chaga now, too. That has a different mechanism. So let's say we take chaga tea and maybe something like Chaga Max capsules. They're very convenient. We could just take a couple capsules twice a day. We could hit the tea as much as we wanted to. That would be enough to probably change the fabric of civilization. If you take the Axioli, I'm having a hard time with it, if you take that village, if you take the villages in Siberia, and you take a look at infection, keeping infection under control, why wouldn't you live longer? What's the number one cause of fatality in a hospital?
Infection.
Yeah. If you were able to take something on a daily basis, like there's only one, I can only recommend one oil of oregano for daily consumption. I mean, it's my reputation on the block here. So it would be the P73. You take about 5 drops a day or 5 drops every other day. You take that juice of oregano. You know, when I was in the villages, I'd go to the Akhtar, and I'd say, so what do you do, with oregano? What do you mean, the oregano oil? Oh, we only use it for cuts and sprains. Well, what do you use? He whips out these Pepsi bottles, which he has tapped off in his backyard with his own still, where he distills out the aromatic water of oregano, and he corks the Pepsi bottles. This is the stuff. Well, what do you use it for? Diabetes, heart disease, and cancer. Whoopee.
Wow.
A lot of people don't know that the aromatic waters is what the people are using.
See, that's why you're on the show, because you prove you can go to school, get a PhD, XYZ, but going into those villages and getting this you're functioning like a journalist in a real sense. We'll come back to that point. This Acciaroli, Italy, it's hard to pronounce. This little village, there are some centenarians there. There are 300 of them. Some 300. 20% of those reach 110. This is what else you need to know. The backstory. Many of them smoke and are overweight. Okay? So whatever the hell they're doing to overcome those two deleterious lifestyle factors, I don't know.
statements made during this broadcast regarding products or the claims made about specific products have not been evaluated by the U.S. Food and Drug Administration. Products and treatments discussed are not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent disease. Make your physician aware of all nutritional supplements used and immediately notify your physician if you have any health concern or undiagnosed sign or symptom. Let's Talk Nutrition is a health talk show that features scientists, authors, nutrition specialists, personal trainers, holistic healers, and experts in traditional, natural, and integrative medicine. Listen for a chance to win daily prizes and follow Let's Talk Nutrition on Facebook and Instagram at Let's Talk Nutrition or on Twitter at LTN Radio. It's time for some inspiration. Tune in to get fit and healthy. It's time to talk about nutrition. Nutrition for your body, your mind, your spirit. It's time to talk about proper exercise, stress relief, eating well, and supplementation to help. Get ready to take charge of your health because your health is your wealth and the wealth of those who care about and love you. It's time for Let's Talk Nutrition with Dr. Michael Garko. Welcome to the show.
Well, apparently, if you have long-lived parents, you have a good shot of doing the same. Welcome to Let's Talk Nutrition. Great to be with you. If you carried over from the first hour, thank you very much. My guest is Dr. Cass Ingram, one of the most well-traveled, culturally aware guests I have on this show, bar none. And that becomes important. You'll see why in a second. Stay tuned. I was reporting on this study out of the University of Exeter. The longer your parents live, the greater likelihood you are going to live long yourself, and you're going to do so with better cardiovascular health. We're showing you the press release, if you're watching the show at Let's Talk Nutrition, from the University of Exeter. This is an evidence-based show because I believe in evidence-based medicine and evidence-based nutrition. Harder to do that kind of show, but in the long run, worthwhile because it makes it better for you. You can have some confidence in what we're talking about. And this study involved almost 190,000 people in a it's called the United Kingdom Biobank. It's an interesting data set. It's the largest of its kind. And they found that the chances of survival, a person's survival, that would be you and me, increased by 17% for each decade that at least one of their parents will live beyond the age of 70. That's kind of interesting. That's significant, more than statistically significant. It's of great practical importance. The researchers used data on the health of 186,000 middle-aged offspring, 55 to 73 years of age, followed over a period of up to 8 years. So this was a longitudinal study. I love those kinds of studies. The team found that those with longer-lived parents had lower incidence of multiple circulatory conditions, including, you ready? Heart disease, heart failure, stroke, high blood pressure, high cholesterol levels, and arterial fibrillation. Amazing. For example, they said the risk of death from heart disease was 20% lower for each decade that at least one parent lived beyond the age of 70. Further, they said, those with longer-lived parents also had reduced risk of cancer, 7% reduced likelihood of cancer in the follow-up per longer-lived parent. They put a lot of emphasis in this study on cardiovascular health, as you can see by the incidence of multiple circulatory conditions being reduced: heart disease, heart failure, stroke, high blood pressure, high cholesterol, and arterial fibrillation. What's assumed in this study that cardiovascular health is one of the centerpieces to live longer. And it makes sense. Ironically, people can live a long time with heart disease due to medications and different therapies and whatnot. I'm not saying what the quality of life is like, but they can live longer. Then again, some people walking along, 40, 50 years old, bang, heart attack, didn't even know they had atherosclerosis and vapor lock right where they stand. That's why you need to go to the doctor. That's why you need to have your lipid panels done and whatnot. Not that cholesterol is the end-all and be-all. There are many factors that bear upon heart disease. But keeping inflammation levels low, Dr. Ingram talks about that a lot. Management of inflammation. It's an underlying, overarching theme for him, for me, and for many others. The researchers of this study, Dr. Janice Atkins, said, to our knowledge, this is the largest study to show that the longer your parents live, the more likely you are to remain healthy in your 60s and 70s. Close quote. Another researcher in the study said, it's been unclear why some older people develop heart conditions in their 60s, while others only develop these conditions much later in life or even avoid them completely. Our research tells us, Dr. Miser said, while avoiding the well-known risk factors such as smoking is very important, there are also other factors inherited from parents. As we understand these parental factors better, we should be able to help more people age well. Well, that may be, close quote, that may be, Dr. Miser, but at the end of the day, it's your diet and lifestyle that bears upon the expression of those genes. You can have the genes made by God Almighty. But if you violate the principles of biology and good health, I don't care who you are, you're going to corrupt your genetic inheritance. My guess is Dr. Cass Ingram. Dr. Ingram, as I said, is probably one of the most culturally aware, culturally traveled guests I have on the show. Like the little story he just told about going into this village, and they had oil of what did they have in the Coke bottles?
They weren't too high on the oil of wild oregano, which I popularized in the United States as a great natural medicine, and it has fantastic value. But what they were high on is something called hydrosol of wild oregano, which is it's marketed as juice of oregano in like vitamin discount centers and other stores. It's a hydrosol. You know what I'm saying?
Explain what a hydrosol is.
When they condense the steam, it goes into one barrel. And what the village chief did was he capped it off in Pepsi and Coke bottles, and he would give it to people with cancer, heart disease, and cancer, heart disease, and diabetes. Now,
Did you try some? Did you drink some?
How's that?
Did you drink some?
Yeah, I tried some of this. It knock your socks off, and Pepsi bottle or not. But I have used it successfully in diabetes. I had one woman whose blood sugar was about 220, and she was taking juice of oregano, which is the actual physical product name. She was taking it for increasing strength and vitality. So then she sent me her lab results, so she went from 200 to about 110 just on that one extract.
How long did it take her to do that?
Just a couple of months. And it's actually very stabilizing for the pancreas. I even used it for pancreatitis. Now, you wouldn't think such a hot extract for pancreatitis. Oh, my God, who would touch it? So there's a lot to this, and you wonder about these long-lived people in the village and how much of this is because of also the lack of medical intervention, and then when they do have issues, they have a knowledge of the mountain lore or the plants of the area, and they're dispensing herbal medicines as much as possible. Well, what else do they have? When I was there, the guy said, "We like you a lot, the village chief. So what we're going to do is we're going to keep you here, and we're going to buy an ambulance. We're going to create a medical clinic, and we're going to create a helicopter pad. We have connections." I said, if you don't have a helicopter pad or life now, you don't have a hospital, you don't have a clinic, and you don't have an ambulance, why do you need one now?
Exactly.
So,
why do you need it now?
Yeah, so there's a lot to...
Where was this village?
Ethnobotany.
Where was this village?
This was in the mountains of the Antalya region, about an hour and a half from Antalya in South Turkey, in the Isparta Mountains.
Well, could you get a sense of the average age of the people in that village?
Well, you see, they eat a lot of tons of sugar.
Do they?
That's the problem. And so it's very difficult to get a good population. But what they told me was that the people who lived to be in the 90 to 105 drank from a certain spring. Isn't that interesting?
Is that
they were
right?
Consistent users of that spring water. So, these take a lot of research to find out exactly what the connections could be. But over those years, I have put together what I believe to be, I don't believe to be, which I know to be effective at preventing premature death. The wild oregano, oil and juice would be fantastic.
When we come back, I want to ask you how North American Urban Spice makes that, or wild oregano juice and so on. I want to get into that a little bit.
They have a special way to do it. Yeah.
Okay. So what you hear Dr. Ingram reporting, he's almost functioning like an ethnographic researcher. Ethnographic researcher is someone who will go into the culture, into the site, the research site, live there, be there, interact with the people, not just give them questionnaires observing, taking notes, talking to the people. That's an interesting way to do research. It's a legitimate way. It's a qualitative research technique and method, but I find it fascinating, interesting, and creates for wonderful narrative.
As a family-owned company since 1968, Now Foods has spent the last 46 years building a legacy in the natural health industry as a trusted leader. Now provides a comprehensive approach to wellness by offering more than 1,400 high-quality health foods, supplements, sports nutrition, and personal care products at an affordable price. Now believes that natural is better. They don't use artificial colors, flavors, or sweeteners, and they offer many vegetarian, organic, and gluten-free products. Their foods are all non-GMO. Since their beginning, Now has grown to become an award-winning leader in the natural health industry. But one thing has never changed: their commitment to providing the highest quality products at the best value to empower people to lead healthier lives. High quality doesn't have to mean high price. From essential oils to amino acids, multivitamins to natural sweeteners, Now has you covered. To find a store near you that carries Now products, or for more information, visit nowfoods.com. That's nowfoods.com.
Are you suffering from those awful allergies? Hay fever, sneezing, watery eyes? Here's some advice you won't want to miss.
I'm a doctor, and my patients used to dread allergy season. But then I discovered A. Vogel Allergy Relief, a unique combination of natural ingredients that usually addresses every one of my patients' symptoms. And while it's clear that the vast majority of my patients benefit significantly from A. Vogel Allergy Relief, what's even more amazing is that after using it, at least half of my patients' symptoms didn't return. As a doctor, that's the kind of outcome my patients and I can appreciate.
Get doctor-recommended A. Vogel Allergy Relief for your allergy symptoms. It's proven safe, it doesn't make you drowsy, it's fast-acting, and it may even help prevent your allergies from returning. Available at vitamin discount centers, Richards, Rollin' Oats, Vitamin Shop, Nutrition Smart, and other fine health food stores.
When you're passionate about your health, that passion leads to the knowledge that exercise and a healthy diet are not always enough. Sometimes you need the extra nutritional boost that only supplements can provide. If you are looking for the leading national brands of vitamins, supplements, health and beauty, weight loss, or sports nutrition products, look no further than Vitamin Discount Center. Voted best independent chain by Vitamin Retailer Magazine, Vitamin Discount Center has been a trusted and valuable nutrition resource to the Tampa Bay area for over 15 years. With daily savings up to 50%, Vitamin Discount Center offers the best prices on the highest quality nutritional supplements. Not only will you find unbeatable value, your visit includes access to a staff educated on the application of products to help equip you with the products and information you need to proactively improve your health. To locate the store nearest you, visit vitamindiscountcenter.com, as well as access to articles on popular health topics, promotions, events, and thousands of products to shop from right at home. Your search for an affordable solution to better health is finally over. Vitamin Discount Center. For life, for less.
Still looking for your fountain of youth? It's Zinnia. Look no further than the beauty aisle of your favorite health and nutrition store. Zinnia is the newest product from Form Essentials, the brand that brought you solace. So you know it's filled with the highest quality ingredients. Many cosmetic products only treat topically, while Zinnia addresses aging and hair loss from within. Formulated to support the growth of radiant hair, skin, and nails, Zinnia is sure to help you turn back the hands of time and assist you in aging gracefully. Zinnia provides a spectrum of key vitamins and other evidence-based natural ingredients such as alpha-lipoic acid, biotin, and collagen and elastin peptides, all combined in one capsule for your convenience. By promoting beauty from the inside out, you're strengthening your cells and creating a lasting enhancement to your natural beauty. Zinnia fits into your daily routine and can be taken to boost your current cosmetic products. Available now at leading health and nutrition stores. Ask for Zinnia by name. Start taking Zinnia hair, skin, and nails today and get ready to look amazing. Let's Talk Nutrition is brought to you by BSN, Finish First, Nordic Naturals, pure and great tasting omega oils, Jarrow Formulas, superior nutrition and formulation, Natural Factors, where great health begins, Kyolic, aging makes the finest garlic truly odorless, A. Vogel, Europe's leading brand of herbal medicine. Let's Talk Nutrition on the web at letstalknutrition.com. We're back from the break, so let's rejoin Dr. Michael Garko.
Welcome back. Welcome to Let's Talk Nutrition. My guest today is Dr. Cass Ingram. And I was commenting, leading out of that last segment, about ethnographic research. And I was saying that whether he realizes it or not, in a real sense, Dr. Ingram, in his career and traveling to these different cultures, was functioning like an ethnographer. An ethnographer is they do ethnographic research where you go in and it's a systematic study of people and its cultures, and you live among the culture, within the culture and the people. You don't give them questionnaires. You're talking to them, you're observing, you're taking notes, and you're trying to get a sense. It's a different kind of data. It's qualitative data. You're not crunching numbers. You're collecting narratives, stories of people in your interviews with them. And then you take all that data and you thematize it, analyze it, and thematize it, and then come up with your general overarching themes from your experience to describe the phenomenon in that culture. So, Dr. Ingram, if I would have been traveling with you, that's what we would have been doing.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
I would have said, no, Cass, we have to stay a little longer.
Yeah, no, it's true. It's what's fascinating about it is that nobody is trying to do anything. It's just the natural evolution of those enclaves. And one of the interesting things is, for example, none of them are taking chemical vitamins. They're not measuring out their RDAs and minimum whatever. So they're using plants. That's what the medicine is.
Thank
plants.
you. Thank you.
Well, we use this. We've been doing this. What do you do it for? Well, it's good for you. That's all you know.
That's all you know, and they've learned that over hundreds of years within that culture, if not thousands.
Yeah,
and it's passed on.
That brings back the issue of cannabis extract. I like to tell people, they say this, they say that. Did you know that it was official in the doctor's black bag in Victorian times? They all had cannabis tincture and cannabis, I think it was sublimate. They had these little white pills, cannabis extract. It was in every black bag. Why? Why did they rely on it? And you start to find out that it's probably the best overall tonic for the nervous system. They gave it to people for a bad case of the nerves. Now, if you think about this, one of the biggest causes of corruption is SSRI drugs, anti-insomnia drugs, antipsychotropic drugs. They're so damaging. They damage the brainstem, they damage the frontal cortex, they cause corkscrew degeneration of the neurons, they cause addiction. And then the second big cause of damage in modern society, it's been banned, cannabis extract's been banned for 100 years, is addiction. Addiction to opiates, addiction to crack cocaine, heroin, to alcohol, to tobacco, to pot. And yet, if we had available a daily use cannabis, it offers an arena of health support since about 2000 BC. Did they know something? Are they stupid? That the other medicines don't offer.
Well, we have access to it. We have access to it now via hemp, don't we?
We do. We have access to it via hempenol, for example, as an example. The CBD oil is another one, but hempenol is interesting because it's crude, supercritical, raw, unheated, unmanipulated, just crude muck. Now, this is what we found out recently. The DEA and the government at large has nothing to say about the crude extract. Where they've been pounding in their domain is when people manipulate the extract to drive up the CBD concentration to 40%, 30%, 20%, then technically they're saying it's not, it's illicit. That's what they're claiming, because it competes with their drug domain. But they have nothing to say about a crude supercritical extract where the CBD is just naturally there and it's not manipulated, along with the terpenes, along with the thing we've talked about, the beta-carophylline. So when I started having patients who couldn't remember where they drove for 3 hours after taking the manipulated material, your standard CBD, and they just refused to take it, then you give them the crude extract, they love it, and they take it every day, 5 times a day. They don't get any of those untoward effects. It reminds me of the village chief with his bottle of oregano oil and the Pepsi, and the other guy drinking the sage tea. They didn't do anything. They just took the sprigs, put it in hot water, and put it on a tray and started passing it around to people.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the hot water is, for those, that's the way the compounds are extracted from the plant. Hot water is an extract.
Hot water infusion.
Right, hot water infusion. That's one way to do it. That's what you do when you make tea at home, for example.
Yeah. So I really think if we're sharp and we're into this health thing, we ought to move more towards the unprocessed, natural, the way the Almighty made it. Just something that's not manipulated, not standardized, not solvent extracted. If you want to get the benefits of turmeric, you could just buy a bunch of turmeric. And you don't have to soak it in alcohol. You can shave it real fine. You can make a tea. You can put it in your food. Or if you can get an extract, the problem is most of it's solvent extracted. The same is true with, whenever you see the word standardized, you know that it's been treated with hexane or alcohol.
I see.
You see?
Hempenol is a product at North American Herb and Spice. Go to NorthAmericanHerbAndSpice.com. Hempenol is one product. Dr. Ingram alluded to the oregano. It's a liquid. It's not an oil, right?
It's the juice of oregano is what the ethnobotanically that people used.
All right, we come back. We got to get to this. I want to know how North American Herb and Spice manufactures that. How do they get this juice of oregano?
Looking for the perfect complement to your beauty regimen? Try Form Essentials Zinnia. The finest of its kind, Zinnia offers twice as much biotin as other formulas, which has proven to unlock the vibrancy in even the dullest of hair, skin, and nails. Zinnia breaks through and rejuvenates cells internally, helping you achieve the allure of effortless beauty. Reviving your hair, skin, and nails has never been easier. This essential blend of biotin, alpha-lipoic, and hyaluronic acid, collagen, and vitamin C creates lasting enhancements to your natural good looks. Don't go on wondering. You're worth the results. This combination of ingredients can only be found in Zinnia. Pamper yourself with a proven bit of affordable luxury and start looking your best. Ask for Zinnia by name at your nearest vitamin retailer to begin your journey to restored nails, head-turning hair, and radiant skin today. For more information, visit formessentials.com.
When your alarm goes off, do you jump out of bed with excitement? Or does it take multiple alarms, a few snooze buttons, or a morning caffeine fix to get you going? These habits and daily stress cause a vicious cycle in which sleep becomes increasingly elusive. In fact, 54% of Americans report struggles to fall or stay asleep. For a better night's rest, look no further than Solace, an all-natural dietary supplement that supports healthy sleep and relaxation, so you get the rest you need to wake up clear-eyed, alert, and ready for the day. Solace has given thousands a better night's rest and the power to take back their mornings while enjoying the day ahead of them. Solace is formulated with non-addictive, scientifically proven, all-natural ingredients that support sleep and relaxation, such as melatonin, tryptophan, and 5-HTP. For more information or to order Solace, visit TakeSolace.com. Solace for healthy sleep naturally.
Let's Talk Nutrition is brought to you by Alga Life, algae for life. CV Sciences, from seed to shelf. New Chapter, the benefit of nature's wisdom. Yerba Prima, pioneers in internal cleansing. Form Essentials, makers of the sleep aid Solace. Now introducing Zinnia for healthy hair, skin, and nails. Let's Talk Nutrition on the web at letstalknutrition.com. We're back from the break, so let's rejoin Dr. Michael Garko.
Welcome back to Let's Talk Nutrition. Having a really nice conversation with Dr. Ingram today, Cass Ingram. I was reporting, I'm going to go back and refer again to Dr. Ingram in my beginning of the conversation today. In passing, mentioned Acciolo, Italy. Turns out that this is a small village near Salerno, and researchers went there to study this village because it's a village of only a few thousand people. What's extraordinary about this village is that 300 of them are centenarians, and 20% of those centenarians live to be 110. So this is rather compelling, right? It's intriguing. On a personal note, I'm not particularly fond of the way they went in to do the study. They gave them a bunch of questionnaires. They didn't do what I would consider to be, unless they did it and I don't know about it, a real ethnographic study where you stay there, you live there, and you collect qualitative data, you interview, you listen to the stories and narratives of these people, and then you thematize those, and then you can collect questionnaire data if you like, which is quantitative. Ethnographic research is qualitative data. Nevertheless, what they were trying to figure out, what accounted for, and Dr. Ingram was right on the money, what accounted for their longevity. In their data, the researchers found that these people were out in the fresh air all the time. They walked everywhere. They walked across the mountains. Their diet was a Mediterranean diet. But there's more. First and foremost was the local cuisine and the use of the herb, and I'm quoting, rosemary, which is rich in iron, calcium, vitamin B6, and has been used since classical times, as Dr. Ingram pointed out. He's always on the money about this business. And North American Herb and Spice has it. And it's not something that in the natural products industry, everybody's running around with their hair on fire talking about rosemary, Dr. Ingram.
No, it's not. Mm-mm.
So I went back and I looked at some other stories and studies that were reported, and they zeroed in on rosemary just like you did. And I asked you, what did you think accounted for it? And you said rosemary.
Yeah. You see, when I was overseas and I spent quite a few weeks in Greece and Turkey, I noticed that they would put the sprigs of the freshly clipped rosemary, sage, oregano, a few other plants, some of the wild chamomile, and something called mountain tea, which is a version of sage. And they would just clip it, dry it, they'd hang it up, and then they would immerse it in the hot water, those little teeny glasses that they use, and they'd bring it out on a tray. So I found it very fascinating because, you can't have sage because of thujone. Well, there are edible types of sage. Well, you can't have rosemary every day because of this. It could be a teratogen, in pregnancy. Garbage. Absolute garbage. These people have been doing this for centuries.
Yes.
And I mean, you can see, but the Accioli is not, it couldn't be a teratogen. There's 105, 110-year-olds there. But what I found out was that this hot water infusion, so there was a way to do it, which is the steam.
So when you make, at North American Herb and Spice, when they make the oregano that's in a liquid form, and what's the actual name of the product?
That's the P73 oregano, the edible daily use. There's a lot of imitations on the market. They're cheaper. They're not daily use. You can't use them daily in many cases. So this is the kind I like to recommend when I'm treating Lyme disease or when I'm treating, just general fungal overload, because I can give 40 drops twice a day for 30 days, for 90 days, whatever I need to do. So there's the oil of oregano, and then there's the condensation of steam, and that's called juice of oregano. Have you ever tried that juice of oregano, by the way?
I have not, and I should.
because that's essentially being in the mountains with a hot water infusion.
How do they do it? How do they do it at North American Herb and Spice?
Well, they've got their factories over there, and then once the herbs are dried, they're put into the hopper. Then they put compressed steam from mountain aquifer, compressed steam, and they strike the herb. So then the oil drips off in one drum, and the steam is condensed into another. That steam is available for us to take a tablespoon a day as a supplement. And I would recommend people who are older, who are weak, who are suffering, who have a general degenerative condition, and particularly diabetics, people with weak heart, congestive heart failure, we should be taking it as a tonic like they do there. Now, there was a study in Turkey where they used not the oil, but the juice of oregano for congestive heart failure, and it caused a reversal of the condition because they found it to be a positive ionotrope.
What does that mean?
It increases the pumping power of the cardiac muscle. Fascinating. It was a human study. So whenever I have a person with a weak heart or congestive heart failure, I give them an ounce of that once or twice a day, or angina. I found it successful. I even use oil of oregano for angina successfully. So there's something very special we can see by the Italian village study about the spices.
Absolutely.
More so than even some of the standard herbs like echinacea and elderberry. We're talking about a potency. Look how they found cinnamon. Somebody stumbled upon the fact that cinnamon reduces blood sugar 20% in anybody who takes 2 teaspoons a day. Who would have ever thought?
I know the key, the plants. I say like you do all the time. It's the plants. It's the plants, stupid. Meaning me. It's the plants. Focus on the plants.
Do focus on it. We lost cannabis. Now it's coming back. It's a big-time medicine, and we need to probe into its value and its usage. We never even thought of the oregano as a medicine until recently, and yet in the medieval herbals, it's a prominent player in the texts, using it for gut disorders, for GERD, for esophageal conditions, for diarrhea, earaches, bronchitis, colds, apoplexy, heart conditions. They were using it. The Babylonians used oil of oregano. No, they didn't use oil. They used oregano for cardiovascular conditions. Now we know that many cardiovascular conditions are caused by chlamydia, nanobacteria, herpetic viruses, staph, and strep infecting the valves of the heart, cardiomyopathies, a viral infection of the heart. How did they know to use oregano for heart disease? They didn't have a test tube or a microscope.
They weren't doing clinical trials.
I don't think so.
So I went to North American Herb and Spice, and I looked at under products, juices, and essence.
Yeah,
they have.
That's what I would focus on. I want to send you some. I'd love everybody to. It's so simple. Take a tablespoon a day, and let's see how we.
All right, I'll get a phone number from one of your folks in the office. The good-looking boy with the man with the dark hair. You know who I'm talking about? We'll see. I'll come back.
Did you know that the most common form of calcium supplement today is calcium carbonate, also known as limestone? You don't eat rocks as part of your balanced diet, so why would you choose to supplement your bone health nutritional needs with limestone? Our bodies understand and seek whole food sources of nutrition. New Chapter is proud to deliver Bone Strength Take Care, a calcium complex that delivers key bone health nutrients in the form of whole food, not rocks. Bone Strength Take Care also delivers key bone nourishing nutrients, including vitamins D3 and K2. Vitamin K2 is of critical importance as it ensures calcium is placed in the bone where it's needed and stays out of the arteries where it's not. Discover for yourself the whole food bone health alternative to rocks. Bone Strength Take Care, the best-selling natural bone health supplement in America. These statements have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.
The ever-increasing stress and toxicity we are exposed to from our environment, diets, and lifestyles make internal cleansing a necessary part of a good health regimen. Founded in 1980, Yerba Prima was the first company to launch a whole-body internal cleansing kit. Since that time, they have continued to develop and manufacture a complete range of all-natural, high-quality fiber and internal cleansing products. By using all-natural psyllium fiber and no harmful stimulant laxatives, all Yerba Prima fiber and internal cleansing products can be used over a long period of time to ensure optimal health and regularity. With nearly 30 years dedicated to all-natural cleansing products, it's easy to see why Yerba Prima is a leader in the fiber and cleansing products category. Learn more at yerbaprima.com, YERBAPRIMA.com, or visit your local health retailer. Yerba Prima, pioneer in internal cleansing products.
Feel tired, lethargic, or irritable? Take solace. You're one of millions of Americans that has trouble falling asleep or staying asleep. In fact, according to a national survey, 54% of adults have trouble sleeping. So what can you do about it? Take Solace. Solace is an all-natural dietary supplement formulated to support healthy sleep and relaxation. Solace can help you fall asleep and stay asleep naturally. Formulated with all-natural ingredients, Solace is non-addictive and won't leave you feeling groggy in the morning. Take Solace an hour before bed and feel the calming effects of this extensively researched sleep and relaxation aid. For more information on Solace, call toll-free 877-533-7066 or visit takesolace.com. That's 877-533-7066 or take SOLUS.com. Look for Solace in your local health and nutrition store. Solace, for a good night's rest naturally.
The latest trend to hit the store shelves has the whole country buzzing. Cannabidiol, or CBD, might just be the greatest discovery of our generation, and it comes from a plant that is not so new, agricultural hemp. Yes, after 70 years of prohibition and misunderstanding, hemp is back to help you stay healthy and balanced. Growing research is showing that we have a lot to learn from the remarkable hemp plant. Nutrient-rich products like Plus CBD Oil's Total Plant Complex concentrated products provide broad-spectrum nutrition, including fatty acids, plant sterols, cannabinoids, terpenes, and naturally occurring vitamin E. From seed to shelf, all Plus CBD Oil products provide the highest quality hemp-derived CBD products available and are offered in a variety of delivery systems and flavors to suit your needs. Ask your local independent health food store about Plus CBD Oil products by CV Sciences today and learn more about the CBD evolution at pluscbdoil.com. That's pluscbdoil.com.
Feeling tired after your meal? Occasional gas, bloating, or indigestion at inopportune times? You may have an enzyme deficiency. Did you know that many common digestive discomforts can be caused by poor digestion? When food isn't completely digested, it begins to ferment in the digestive tract, which may cause uncomfortable symptoms. Digest Gold, America's #1 selling enzyme product, offers unparalleled support for your digestive needs. It contains exclusive blends of enzymes optimized to be 3 times stronger and work more than 6 times faster than other leading digestive supplements. With just 1 capsule per meal, Digest Gold offers support to break down carbohydrates, fats, fiber, and protein. Enzymatica products are all natural, vegetarian, contain absolutely no fillers, and are vegan and kosher when possible. You'll find Digest Gold and other Enzymatica products at fine health food stores near you. These statements have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.
Let's Talk Nutrition is brought to you by Now Foods. Our products work. American Biotech Labs, your daily immune system support. Renew Life, the digestive care company. Country Life, a leader and authority in natural health and nutrition. Enzymatica, the enzyme experts. North American Urban Spice, the only oregano oil you can take on a daily basis. Let's Talk Nutrition on the web at letstalknutrition.com. We're back from the break, so let's rejoin Dr. Michael Garko.
Here's the LTN health question of the day. Earlier in the show, I was reporting on this study out of the University of Exeter, where they took a look at long-lived parents, and they found that the offspring of long-lived parents would live longer. When, more specifically, it found that the chances of survival increased by a certain percent. That's going to be the question. for each decade that at least one parent lived beyond the age of 70. Had something to do with the genes. So here's the question. What was the chances? How much was the chance of survival increased by for each decade that at least one parent lived beyond the age of 70? Was it 7%, 17%, or 27%? By what percent did the chances of survival for the offspring increase for each decade the parent lived beyond the age of 70? Was it 7%, 17%, or 27%? 877-897-8255. That's a toll-free number. Dr. Ingram, the person I was trying, I don't know if he still works for you. He's a handsome young man.
Yeah.
He's always at the trade shows. He has dark, black, thick hair.
Yeah, he's from Cuba. That's why he's such a handsome fellow.
What's his name, first name?
Mr. Camp de Sooner. And so, yes, if you can hunt him down, we want to give you a go with the essence of wild rosemary, the juice of wild oregano.
All right.
And give those, a shot glass of each twice a day, and let's see how you get along.
Who in the office would I talk to? Who would
hunt him down.
What's his first name?
Hunt down Mr. Camp de Sooner. How can you forget that name?
Camp de Sooner. Okay, I'll call the office.
Or anybody do that.
All right.
And let me give their number because people might want to know more. 1-800-243-5242. Give them a hunt. 1-800-243-5242. Hey, I know you're national, but that Vitamin Discount Center, they're quite an operation.
Yeah, they're in Tampa. They're in Tampa, Florida. Vitamin Discount Center stores.
Good people down that way.
Yeah, they're good. They're good, and I encourage the health store owners that listen to this show, wherever they may be throughout the United States, to call the show. I always try to encourage their employees or the owners to call and share what customers say about the different things, ideas, themes, health issues that we talk about on the show. They are a connection to the consumer.
They are.
And many of these people, as you well know, Dr. Ingram, are so dedicated to helping the general public. It's not just a business. It's something more.
I love the Monpause. Hey, and that juice of oregano, that's a decided natural medicine. The Akhtar is right. It stabilizes diabetes. It stabilizes the pancreas, even in pancreatitis. Listen, doctors, you don't realize you can do something. It's fantastic for weak heart. It's great for, I've used it very successfully, listen to this, for neurological infections like encephalitis, meningitis, West Nile, Lyme neurological. It passes the blood-brain barrier. I have used it for Parkinson's. I mean, it's just nobody knows about this.
Yeah, well, conventional medicine is what it is, and then you have alternative or complementary, whatever you want to call it.
And I'm making the disclaimer, that's me. I'm not saying company. That's just me as a physician experimenting and trying to help people with something that's, that it's effective. It's not just that it's non-toxic. I need something with some impact. That can really move the needle.
Mm-hmm.
If you've got a neurological breakdown, you want to hit this stuff.
Let's go to Brandon, Florida. Connie, welcome to the show. It's great to have you on.
Thank you.
How are you doing today?
I'm fine. How are you?
All right, all things considered. So in this study, they found that the offspring chances of survival would increase by a certain percent for each decade that at least one parent lived beyond the age of 70. Did their chances of survival in this offspring, did it increase by 7%, 17%, or 27%?
Is it 27%?
That's a little too much today. But usually you get it right, but today not so much. But that's okay. There'll be another time, another question.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. I'm just curious, Dr. Ingram, you don't have to answer the question if you don't want to. What do you, in terms of these different compounds that we're talking about, what do you take religiously every day?
Yeah, I'm a fiend for the chaga tea. I like chaga black. I'm a fiend. I'm a big fiend also for the capsules because they're convenient, where they're pulverized with wild oregano. I'm a huge fan of rosemary sage. What I do is I just take I just take the Bone Active right now. I'm taking a dropperful. I take a couple dropperfuls of that a day. What else do I do? I'm a juice of oregano fiend.
So you take your own supply.
Yeah, I'm a oil of oregano freak. This, and you know what? I'm a big, super duper fan of.
What?
Because it helps my writing.
What's
capacity. That's that hempenol super strength.
You like that for your brain, do you?
Yeah.
All right.
I found that my ability for fine, detailed tasks in writing
gets better.
About a 400% improvement.
Wow. Let's go to Clearwater. First, Greg, what's the answer to the question?
17%.
Congratulations, and you also had a question.
Yeah. Yes, I had heard before when Dr. Ingram was on, and I love your show, and I really find the information he gives very, very entertaining and informative.
Yeah.
Was oregano indiscriminate or discriminate? He said it was a germicide. Do I have to worry about killing gut flora when I do the oregano?
That's interesting.
Yeah, good question. Not if you do reasonable amounts. Like if you're doing 5 drops a day, no biggie. But if you're going to take 40 drops 3 times a day, you will knock down some of the good.
So you need to take a probiotic.
Probiotic at night.
Yeah. Don't take the
I'm taking 5, so that I should be okay. But
you should be fine with. In fact, the studies with 4 or 5 drops a day showed that it improved lactobacillus activity by killing back pathogens. But yeah, if you have to pump a lot for like toenail fungus or somebody's got a horrible situation, Lyme, then you take the probiotic.
But when you take your probiotic, make sure at least 2 hours away from taking the product.
Yeah.
At least that. So you should be taking probiotic every day anyhow. So
you should. Lots of sauerkraut, lot of yogurt, fantastic stuff. We could be like Eli Mitnikoff and probably drink some cholera if we had enough of. Well, hold on now.
That's a story for another day, Doctor. You're unbelievable. Thanks a lot, Dr. Ingram. North American Urban Spice and all the different products that we talked about today. I had a good time today. Hope you did. Your health is your wealth, and your health is the wealth of those that care about and love you.